In this week's tip, we're going to talk about investing without your own money. And we kind of hinted at that a little bit earlier when we were in the early show. One of the common preconceived notions that new investors have is that they need money to invest in real estate. And the truth is you do need money to invest in real estate, but you don't need to have your own money to invest in real estate. And in fact, it really doesn't help to have your own money. It might help a little bit with your very first deal, but that's about all it's going to do, because as soon as you use your money for a deal, your money's tied up in the deal, you can't do another deal. And you got to do a lot of deals if you want to make a lot of money investing in real estate. But there are great sources of money to fund deals out there. And the best way to source deals is using other people's money. So let's talk about some of the sources of other people's money. For example, a traditional bank. The problem with a bank is banks rarely are able to do loans that would be helpful for real estate investors. Real estate investors that are buying properties wholesale, off market, are generally buying properties from distressed sellers who want to sell their properties fast. So to buy those properties, you need fast cash. Usually those off-market deals close in 5 or 10 or 15 days, or maybe at most 30 days, but they usually close very quickly. As a general rule, to get a bank loan, it's going to take a minimum of 30 to 45 days to get that loan approved and closed. The property you're buying with a bank loan generally has to be lendable or loanable. Banks usually don't want to do loans on fixer-uppers. They generally want to do loans on properties that are lendable, which means the roof doesn't leak and all the appliances operate and the air conditioner blows cold air and the house is fully dried in, windows and doors and everything work. But there may be occasions when bank financing can work. Also, to get bank financing, it obviously requires you to have good credit and probably a reasonable down payment. The next kind of money you can get is hard money. Hard money loans are professional lenders. You can Google the term hard money lender and you'll find hundreds of professional lenders that are in the business of loaning money to real estate investors. This is the most common type of money that investors use. It's typically 15% interest, but don't let that number scare you. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to pay 15% interest on my loan. Here's the thing, if you're willing to pay 15% interest, how much money can you borrow? The answer is all of it. Okay, if you're spending all of your time looking for deals, you'll find plenty of deals that can afford to pay 15% interest. If you're willing to pay 15% interest, you have an unlimited amount of money available to finance an unlimited number of deals. That's how you get wealthy, right? Doing an unlimited number of deals. I'm going to tell you most people don't do anything that I just told you to do. Most people do everything except the marketing, and then they become motivated buyers, and then they buy a deal that's not a great deal because, you know, if you don't spend all your time looking for great deals, you're going to find a not great deal. And I got to tell you another thing. You want to know if a deal's a good deal or not? Ask a hard money lender to loan you the money, because they will not let you do something stupid with their money. I'm sorry. You want a quick sanity check to know if you got a good deal? Ask a hard money lender to loan you the money. And if they say no, it's because it's a dumb deal. Okay. And my advice: go get a better deal. But if you're spending all your time looking for good deals, which is what you should be doing, and then you can get all the money you need from hard money lenders. And don't be afraid to pay 15% interest. Again, you're going to be making plenty of money on this deal. Borrow $100,000 at 15% interest. How much is that going to cost you? Well, it depends. Maybe it takes you 6 months to do that deal. What is $100,000 at 15% interest for 6 months? $7,500. Okay, that's what it costs you, $7,500. So the question is not what it costs you, it's what it makes you. If it's going to make you $40,000, would you pay $7,500 to make $40,000? Well, the answer should be yes, right? We do that over and over and over again. So don't be afraid of hard money. Hard money will scale you up. Right? Eventually, everybody figures out, right, that it's okay to pay high interest for short terms to do a lot of deals. And that's how the investors that make a lot of money do this. Now, usually when you borrow hard money, you're paying interest and you're paying points. Points is how much you pay up front for the loan. For example, if you borrow $100,000 at 15% interest, well, that would be $15,000 of interest a year. If you paid 4 points, you'd pay $4,000 up front to get the loan. So when you borrow $100,000 at 4 points, you only get $96,000. of that 100,000. The lender keeps 4 points, 4%, right? Even though you still owe back the full 100 and you have to pay interest on the 400. So it gives the lenders a little more interest up front when they're doing these short-term loans to make the loans more attractive, even though they're short-term. Now, what's better than hard money is private money. Private money is generally 10 to 12% interest and maybe 0 to 2 points. So 10% interest, maybe no points. Now, it's cheaper, faster, and in every way pretty much better than hard money. Hard money typically takes at least 10 to 15 days to close. Could be more, could be less. Private money generally takes 5 to 10 days, and it could even be less as well. The problem with private money is it requires you to have a relationship with the money, right? Hard money lenders are professional lenders, and they're going to do the loan primarily based on the deal, not primarily based on you. They're going to put their money into a good deal, and they're not going to loan their money for a bad deal, right? A private money lender is putting their money into a person that has a deal. A private money lender may or may not even know anything about real estate. They know you, right? And they're making the investment in you. Now, if you're doing a deal with a private money lender, you may need to explain to them why the deal makes sense. It's worth this, I'm buying it for this, and here's how we can document what it's worth and what I'm buying it for, and this is why this loan makes sense, and I'm going to give you a first lien and pay you 10% interest, and this is why it's good for you, and this is why it's good for me. But it does require you to have a relationship with the money. In the Texas REIAs, we have something called the Canis Major Incubator. We have over 1,000 accredited, sophisticated investors. Many of, or most of them, are private money lenders. And if you have a relationship with these private money lenders, it is much faster, much cheaper, much better in every way than hard money. Typically, we can fund multi-million-dollar deals in typically just a few days, or literally less than 10 days. And then finally, friends, family, people that maybe have money in the stock market, or maybe they just don't trust the stock market. Sometimes you can get them to loan you money, and those are pretty much 100% relationship. You know, friends and family would arguably also become private money lenders, but they may not have any knowledge at all about your deal. They may only know you. So these are all sources of money for loaning and financing your business. Other sources, your IRA. How many of you are aware that you can use your IRA to buy real estate? Okay, for the rest of you, you know you can use your IRA to buy real estate. Yeah, it's called a self-directed IRA. If you have a 401k or IRA, you can convert it into a self-directed IRA, and then you can use that money to invest in real estate. As a general rule, the stock market, stocks and mutual funds, provides about 7.5% return on your investment. Sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes much more, lately much less. But it's you know, that's on average over time, you know, about 7.5% return. That's typical. Now you can try to convince me that you are smarter than all the rocket scientists down on Wall Street. I'm just not going to believe you. I'm just going to tell you, you got your money in the stock market and mutual funds and an IRA, you're probably getting on average about 7.5% return on your money. You know, commercial investments, typical real estate investments are typically closer to 15% return on your money. That's like twice the return, right? Less volatility, safer, higher return. I'm going to tell you, once people learn about commercial real estate and investing their money in real estate instead of the stock market, nobody ever goes back to the stock market. It's like never happens, right? The stock market is where you invest if you don't know anything else, right? Okay, great, nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with the stock market, but if you knew that there was something that was on average much higher return and much safer, you're not going to go back to the thing that is less. You know, when it comes to a 401k, I mean, most of for most people, that's their retirement. And I got to tell you, if you're using something, if you're getting twice the return on your investment on whatever you're building that retirement income with, I mean, this is huge over the course of your life, over the course of decades. This is the difference between living on the beach and living, you know, near a beach, right? I mean, it's a completely different thing. So I would tell all of you, and my suggestion is get yourself a self-directed IRA. Everybody should have a self-directed IRA. Anybody can, you all can. You don't even have to put a lot of money in it, but it's a tool. And then when you want to and when you're ready, get your 401k or existing IRA and convert it over to your self-directed IRA and use that as working capital for real estate investing business. And then finally, probably my very favorite way to buy real estate, we're going to be talking about this tonight, is by taking over the seller's financing, getting seller financing. We talked about this a little bit earlier where we were talking about a seller finance or a potential seller finance deal. But yeah, if you can get the seller to provide the financing, that scales you up. How many of those properties can you buy? And the answer is all of them. Sometimes you can get a property with no money down, right? By just taking over an existing loan. We're going to talk about how to take over the payments on existing loan, right? When you buy properties by just taking over existing loans, how many of those properties can you buy? And the answer is all of them. We call that buying properties subject to, and we're going to talk about that as well. So investing with your own money, investing with other people's money. How can Texas REIAs help you? We learned a long time ago that the secret to making a lot of money investing in real estate is to do a lot of deals. That's pretty simple. And I wanted to make a lot of money when I became a real estate investor. I was literally sitting in this room 2003, so 18 years ago, a little over 18 years ago. Lost my job working at high tech, wanted to do something different with my life plan. Kind of explored a lot of different things, concluded real estate, in theory, could give me the life I wanted, right? Work for myself, you know, unlimited income in theory, unlimited wealth. And one of my motivations was I want to make a lot of money, invest in real estate. So I needed to do a lot of deals. And over the years, what I figured out is, you know, to do a lot of deals, you have to do this business in a scalable way. So we just talked about money, right? I don't have enough money. I figured that out a long time ago. You don't have enough money. Donald Trump does not have enough money to invest in real estate, not even close. You have to use other people's money. So I've spent years building up this network of 1,000 private money lenders. Money, check. Got all the money you need, right? And private money lenders, it's like the deal I talked about with Olivia. I want to loan people money because it's safe and it's higher return than the stock market. And there's a lot of people like me that want to make money with their money by loaning it to other people, right? In safe, high interest things, right? So private money. And when I do deals, I also use other people's money. Sometimes I have money, sometimes I loan my money to somebody else, but now I need money, so I borrow it from other people, right? So people ask me all the time, well, you mean you're a borrower and you're a lender at the same time? Yeah, I'm always a borrower, and I'm always a lender, always at the same time. If I have money I'm not using, I loan it to somebody else. If I need money I don't have it, I borrow it from somebody else, right? And then people are like, but then you have to pay interest. Well, not really. I'm getting interest over here and using it to pay interest over there. It's the same thing as if I just use my own money. But your money and your deals will never time together. Right? Wouldn't it be nice if every time you had money in your pocket, the next day you found a deal? No, that's not how it works. Sometimes you got money, but you got no deal. Sometimes you got a deal, no money. Okay? So I realized a long time ago, for me to do a lot of deals, I have to do this in a scalable way, which means I have to use other people's money. And then eventually I realized I have to do everything in a scalable way. I can't be swinging a hammer. I'm really good at swinging a hammer. I can't swing a hammer. Because if I'm swinging a hammer, man, how many of those projects can I do? I can do one project at a time. I don't want to do one project at a time. I want to do 20 projects at a time, and I can't do that if I'm swinging a hammer. So I got to let other people swing the hammers. And then I realized I can't be everywhere at once. I invest all over Texas, but I don't live all over Texas. So I got to have other boots on the ground everywhere I go. I don't know everybody. I don't have unlimited resources. But then I figured out that by working with others, right, I do have an unlimited number of resources and unlimited boots to the ground. When you look around this room, here's a question that's about your mindset. What do you see? Do you see your competition? Or do you see your partners, your lenders, your buyers, your sellers, your borrowers? You see, one of the big things I learned a long time ago is, man, I want to do a lot of deals, right? I need to partner on a lot of deals. Because if you're leveraging other people's time, money, and resources, then how many deals can you do? All of them. Yeah, all of them. How many do you want to do? All of them. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes investors don't get the right knowledge because they're learning from out of state. These are some of the things that we can help you with. Real estate's local, laws are local, contracts are local, contractors are local. If you want to learn how real estate works, you need to learn how it works here. Okay, it's not bought and sold at 30,000 feet, it's bought and sold at 0 feet. And this Texas REIAs is 100% Texans teaching Texans how to invest in Texas using the laws and strategies and resources that exist here. Some investors get stuck trying to figure out how to do everything themselves. We kind of talked about that. It doesn't scale. I get a lot of people that says, oh, I don't want to hire somebody to do it because I can do it better myself. Well, that's probably true. I'll bet you can do it better than anybody you hire to do it. But there's only one of you. and you can hire 10 people. And I guarantee you can't do it better than 10 people, okay? The only way to scale this business up is to outsource everything, and I mean everything. Texas REIAs and its associations focuses on Texans, teaching Texans how to invest in Texas using strategies that work here in Texas. And there's a lot of information out there about how to invest in real estate, and you can spend almost an infinite amount of time doing it. A lot of people go through podcasts and YouTube videos, and they just spend endless hours trying to find the answer to a single question. Well, that's one way to do it, or just know people that know all the answers and ask them, right? That's another way. A big piece of being part of a network is what we call sharing tribal knowledge. Everything you're trying to do, everything you're trying to figure out, I and other people have done and figured out, right? Intelligent people, and I'm sure you're all intelligent people with an infinite amount of time and effort eventually can figure out everything, but sometimes really intelligent people don't want to spend an infinite amount of time figuring out everything. Sometimes they just want to copy stuff that's already been figured out. And as you grow your network, you're going to grow your resources and you're going to scale yourself up. And that's how Texas REIAs can help you. Okay,